We're allegedly live, but I can't see. Everything is frozen on my side. This is a first. A lot of bandwidth. It says connecting. It looks like we're live, but I don't have it in. Let me hit refresh. It's locked up.
Because if it is successful, one, you have
Well, this is a first for me. There we go. Launch the show, and the show didn't quite launch. But let's try that again. Hello, everybody. Now we've refreshed the feed, and everything should be hunky-dory. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Thursday, November 6, 2025, and we are broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, wandering around somewhere. Thank you for being here. We got Mike Barra. We got Jim Mitchell. Ezrael Robinson is out on assignment today. But we're going to look back last week in the NFL and look forward with tips and trends for this week here on the program. So without further delay, I bring to you the Happy Hour Sports Show presents Strictly Football.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy Hour.
All right, thank you all for being here. Thank you for dealing with me in that double intro. But I could only see what I could see, and my screen was locked up. Let's go to Mike Barra in Jigba, Seahawks fan extraordinaire. Mike, how are you, good sir? How are things?
I am busy trying to get Jim's numbers thing up, so
all right,
don't bother me for a second.
You do your thing. Let's get Jim up here. Don't bother me. Leave me be. Hello, Jim Mitchell in Jigba. How are you, good sir? Is Mike getting your numbers?
Good, Brian. Good. Don't bother me. I'm busy trying to get Mike his numbers.
Fantastic.
He spent.
None of you shall be bothered. I'll fly solo the whole show, okay?
No, I'm done. I'm kidding.
If that's what you want, that's what I'll do.
It's handled.
We do normally start with the Seahawks, but I'll get to the Seahawks in a second. I'll filibuster. Oh, there's a popular word these days. I'll filibuster for a moment, give you guys time to get caught up, and explain to you what's going on in Cleveland. It was our bye week, which of course means that the Browns lost 37-12. Not sure how that happened, but we took the L on that. The Browns are making some changes. They're going. That was a joke. We didn't actually lose, although it feels like we could have. Kevin Stefanski, for the second year in a row, is giving up play calling duties as offensive coordinator. That's going to Tommy Rees, 2 years removed from college. He is going to now be the play caller, and they are going to stick with Dylan Gabriel. So the Browns get a chance to get a bye week, get healthy, get an extra week to prepare, get an extra week to work on the system, figure out why our defense is playing pretty solid most of the game. And then by the third, fourth quarter, the wheels come off because the offense can't stay on the field for more than 3 and out. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out the rest of the season, but it's a good chance for the Browns to hit reset because we play the the New York Football Jets. Of course, it was the bye week for us, but it was trade week in the NFL. Maybe we could start there.
Yeah.
Were there any trades, Mike, that surprised you? Interesting stuff, or maybe even comment on the Dallas player that succumbed from his situation yesterday, scores his first NFL touchdown, and now he's gone. It's been a weird week, I guess.
Yeah, that was really sad and tragic. There was that block kick. It was a big play in that game, and the young guy, who I forget his name, then committed suicide today. He was being chased by the cops, and
Neeland.
apparently he has some issues, mental issues, and killed himself. So it's really bizarre and tragic, but these things happen. And I see that Antonio Brown, Cleveland Browns Hall of Famer Antonio Brown, is has been arrested and going to be extradited from Dubai for attempted murder. Pro Football Talk used to have this thing called Turd Watch, but he had to take that down after he defected to the dark side and went on NBC, so he couldn't have a turd. But he used to post the arrests, days since the last arrest, Florio. But now, Florio, you're ballless, man. You had an empty ball sack. Get the Turd Watch back up. It's incredible. But
strange, yeah, absolutely strange week. What is this? The Frisco police responded to assist Texas Department of Public Safety locating a vehicle that evaded troopers during a pursuit that entered the city approximately 10:39 p.m. yesterday. They found Neeland's vehicle crashed on the southbound Dallas Parkway near Warren Parkway. He fled the scene on foot. Officers searched the area, and then 3 hours later, he was found with what appears to be him taking himself out. And he had expressed these ideations, according to the report. Very shocking indeed.
Talk about mental illness and things like that. Look, there's going to be drugs involved in this. I'll just tell you right now, it's drugs, and a lot of these guys come from really awful neighborhoods, and they get involved with this stuff, and it ends tragically. So it's a shame, but that's the way it goes. So it happens in the NFL more than it should.
So Antonio Brown, Jim, was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals in Dubai. He's been arrested on attempted murder charge stemming from a shooting after a celebrity boxing event in Miami. Police confirmed on Thursday. He's going to be extradited, and this is another strange one. What do you make of this one and the other?
Anything involving Antonio Brown doesn't surprise me. I mean, the last couple of years of his career, I think we all remember how he exited the NFL by taking off his shoulder pads and jersey and walking in the end zone and waving to the crowd. Was that in Tampa? He did that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's status quo for Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And what Mike said about Neeland, there's a possibility that narcotics are involved in this, and but there's also the possibility that he just has a mental illness. And,
exactly.
And the question was it exasperated by the use of narcotics, whether street or prescription or a combination of both? But it was fortunately it wasn't a suicide by cop type situation.
Yeah.
Which is just nasty. I mean, I've handled a few of those, and those are
hopefully there isn't a political aspect to this either, because I remember a few years ago here in Vegas, Seahawks defensive tackle Michael Bennett went to a boxing match with a couple of other Seahawk teammates, and then he went to a nightclub called Dre's afterwards, and somebody knocked over one of the little metal poles they use for they used to just rope things off, and he decided he was being shot at because the white man just wants to kill the black man. That's my.
I remember that.
And he goes running through the casino. Well, and they're thinking that they're the cops that have reports of gunshots. It's actually just a little stanchion falling over. And the guy runs away like a fucking terrorist. He hides behind a slot machine and he runs away like a terrorist, all because he's had all this left-wing bullshit programmed into his brain and gets arrested by the Vegas police and then calls them racist. And the Seahawks never apologized. I'll tell you what, if I ever got rich and bought the Seahawks, the first thing we do is apologize to the Las Vegas police for the behavior of Michael Bennett that night. That's the first thing out of my mouth. So it just, because it pollutes these guys' brains, all this left-wing propaganda. And I hope that there is nothing involving that with this guy. Like, what did he think he ran a red light or a stop sign or something, and he thought the white cops were going to kill him, so he freaks out and runs and hides, and then decide, who knows?
Who knows?
But it's like there's a poison in our culture, and it involving Black America, and it unfortunately there's a lot of it in the NFL, and I'm sorry, but there's certain personalities in this league that I think foment that and ferment it, and it's just. I didn't mean to get off on a social commentary here.
No. It's all right, because for the past 5 years they've been painting in the end zone different stuff to say. It's like, we're trying to escape the craziness of the world. We just want to spend a couple hours, root for the team we grew up, hanging out with our friends and family, watching these teams. And then in the end zones, it's like, hey, white people are bad. We got to stop all this stuff because of, it's always something. It's Mike Brown, it's George Floyd, it's this or that. It's a couple of random cases blown out of proportion.
That's all Roger Goodell, and we just the best thing that could happen to the NFL is to get rid of him. And
when the Michael Bennett thing happened, that was involving Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department bicycle team, which they have on each squad. There's at least 4 2-man groups, and they were right there when it happened. I mean, they were there. And for the old school people, you're talking about Dre's. That's the northeast corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo. Club. Yeah, formerly people know it as the Barbary Coast. Yeah, same building.
Yeah, and the thing is, look, here's I'm going to tell you partially what happened. Partially what happened is, him going and he held a press conference and accusing the Vegas cops of being racist and all this shit. You're chasing this gigantic, scary, by the way, Arab-looking fucking black dude, because he's got this ridiculous Arab beard thing going, running through a casino where you think gunshots have been fired. I don't blame the cops for 2 seconds for taking the guy down and making sure. He's lucky they didn't shoot him. He's really lucky they didn't shoot him. But, with all this crap going on, and here's the thing. He knew his wife was going to find out that he was out of the nightclub trying to pick up some pussy. So he made up all this BS about being racially profiled and all this other crap. And the whole thing just makes me sick. So that makes me sick. And today's story makes me sick. And I just, sorry, I don't know what's going to heal the country, but it's probably not the Muslim, the jihadi that just got elected in New York. But let's move on to football.
Let's keep it strictly football, shall we?
Unless Jim has anything he wants to add to what I just said. I don't know.
Jim. Okay, nothing to add on that. Yeah, it's just when you click on the NFL and you're seeing both of these stories, when you're seeing Antonio Brown, when you're seeing the Dallas Cowboys situation, it's, they got a bit of a problem. The NFL they've always had a little bit of a problem. And the question is it because of chronic traumatic encephalopathy from chronic brain bruises? Is it because of drug abuse? Is it because they're just unhinged, violent people? Who knows? I mean, we've seen all sorts of stories like this over the years.
All I will say about concussions is that we've had concussions as long as we've had football, and we never used to have this kind of off-the-field behavior in the 60s and 70s.
Well, yeah, the notable case that comes to mind, of course, is Junior Seau. And Junior Seau was, I've never met the guy, but, everything that I've read and seen about him, I mean, just a stand-up guy, just respectful to everybody, just a real good guy, and all of a sudden, something triggers and he goes south.
You don't want me to talk about that. You really don't. Yeah, you do.
In what regard, Mike?
Well, okay. Junior Seau, when he shot himself in the chest, it wasn't because of concussions. He was living in a condo in Oceanside. Now, if you know the San Diego area, Oceanside is the shithole of the California coast in that area. He's living where all the naval people and the poor people live. Why? Because a few months before that, his wife divorced him because he wasn't a football player anymore, took the kids, took way more than half of his money, and he had very little to show for his life. And he's living by himself, and I think that had a lot more to do with it than any concussions. And this disingenuous bullshit about trying to make it out to be concussions. I'm sorry, Jim, that rubs me the wrong way because I don't believe that's what happened. I believe it was the divorce and his living circumstances and not being able to see his kids that drove him over the edge. So,
and it might have been, but Jim, that's exactly how it was reported at the time.
Right.
Like most people, if they're going to, they aim somewhere in this general region, not into the chest. It's just not a traditional method. More like you don't see many falling on the swords either. Yes, it happens, a handful.
But so I mean,
but that is interesting perspective because I wasn't really aware of. I didn't remember that whole component, Mike.
Oh yeah, Oceanside is look, if he was living in Oceanside, he had very little money left. So she took his money, she took his kids, she ruined his life, and and maybe CTE had some small aspect of contributing to that, but that's been a case. And Antonio Brown's needed mental help
for a decade,
10 years, and they just didn't do anything. Roger Goodell, who's all concerned about CTE, he didn't do anything. He should have suspended Brown and said, you have to go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. You have to be in therapy before we're going to let you play again. I mean, the guy had 10 kids or something?
Yeah.
Has 10 kids?
Yeah, something like that. I remember there was a Simpsons episode where they were interviewing Drederick Tatum, and that's the Mike Tyson kind of character. And it was for Ion Springfield. And apparently he grew up there. He's like, yeah, if you ever catch me back in Springfield, I fucked up real bad.
Yeah, exactly. Same kind of.
So yeah, if you end up in Oceanside in a condo, I guess maybe it wasn't going so well. Well, let's talk about the Seahawks. Things are going well for the Seahawks. Man, you guys improved to 6-2. You hung 38 points on the board. Sure, it was to the Commanders, but they're an NFL team. They have jerseys and everything. Mike, what did you make of this one?
Well, yeah, it was a great performance by my boys and Jim's boys. I had Regina Mitchell's wonderful pizza. Enjoyed the game thoroughly. It was dominance from front to back. And here's the thing. Yeah, the Redskins are down. They're weak. They're a little bit injured. Jaden Daniels was coming back. Clearly, he was not 100%. Clearly, he's not the physical quarterback he was last year. And then he gets that terrible dislocation. So he's going to be out another 4 or 5 weeks. He probably can come back and play later. But this season's turning out to be kind of a write-off for the Commanders, the Redskins. Yeah. And but here's the thing. Here's what I always like to say. I remember when the Cowboys beat the Cardinals or something like 56-14 in 1995. Emmitt Smith, they're coming off their first Super Bowl win. And everybody's like, oh yeah, they beat the Cardinals. And I'm like, you know what? But that's what championship teams do. Mm-hmm. They destroy bad football teams. And that's what the Seahawks did to the Redskins. So that's what's impressive about it. Sam Darnold at one point was 16 for 16, literally perfect, and well over a couple hundred yards by then. He ended up with 330 yards. Ken Walker didn't run for a lot of yards, but they ran the ball well when they needed to. Jackson Smith-Njigba was terrific again. Top 5 receiver in the NFL. You can make an argument he's number 1. He's number 1 in yards, for one thing.
Hey, where did he play college ball?
He played at the Indiana State University, I believe. Indiana State. Where did he play?
Something like that. One of those flyover states.
And then the Seahawks made a move on trade day and got Rashid Shaheed, very fast, deep threat kind of guy that they needed on the outside at the trade deadline. I hear they were going after Max Crosby. They couldn't quite get that deal done. The Raiders weren't quite ready to give up on the next 5 years yet, but they did a great job with that. And Shaheed is the one weakness, and Jim, we talked about this the other night, Sunday night, was that the thing that scared me the most about the Seahawks was that Jackson Smith-Njigba is a single point failure in their offense. If he were to get injured, they would have a very difficult time putting points on the board, especially in the passing game. So now they've covered that a little bit. They got a guy, he's an 8-game, 9-game rental, but they can sign him in the off season. They got the cap room. So I think everything's looking really rosy for them for this week. So great performance, great game.
And by the way, yeah, despite the fact that they're too many eggs in one basket, perhaps 9 targets, 129 yards on 8 receptions for JSN, but no touchdowns. Coincidentally, he didn't actually score. It was Cody White once, Torrey Horton twice, and Elijah Arroyo has made an entrance. Is that his first touchdown?
This Torrey Horton, if he doesn't re-injure his knee, they got him in the 5th round because he had a knee injury. A lot of people said he's a first-round pick if he doesn't have the knee injury. If he doesn't get hurt again, you're going to hear a lot about this guy because he can really play.
He's got 5 touchdowns on the year, 13 receptions, 161. 5 touchdowns on 13 receptions. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
Oh my God, that is highly efficient, Jim. What did you make of this battle on Sunday?
Yeah, well, this was probably Mike and I's best pick of the week as far as the Seahawks covering the spread and actually winning the game outright. They're now, and Mike brought this stat up last week, they're now 5-0 straight up after a bye week.
Or a mini bye.
And Mike's mini bye.
Everybody calls it that, Jim. Everybody calls it a mini bye.
Explain the mini bye, because I think in the kink world, mini bye would mean something very different.
The mini bye is when you play on Thursday and have 10 days to prepare for the next opponent. That's all it is.
I just wanted to put the image of whatever mini bye could be in the kink world. I wanted everybody in like the radio days to just try to go, what would that even be?
Who in this broadcast knows about the kink world? This guy down here, that guy right there.
If I were betting, that guy. All right, so you felt confident about this one, and they didn't let you down, Jim. Did you have any other thoughts on this matchup?
No, other than the fact that the Seahawks have been pretty strong on the road. The end of last season and this entire season, they're now 8-3-1 against the spread on the road. So they're a pretty healthy bet, if you need a team that's going to cover the point spread and win the game outright right now.
Yeah, they were 4-0 on the road so far this year. Improved to 6-2 on the season. Sam Darnold, he signed for some coin in the offseason, and you went, I don't know. I mean, was that the right move? He's playing pretty doggone well. Baker and Darnold in that same draft class.
Yep.
Also out of that draft class is the guy that came back this week for the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. They took on the Dolphins and beat them 28-6. Did you have any thoughts on this, Mike?
Not really.
Lamar comes back in 4 touchdowns. He looked good.
That was last Thursday's game, right? Total dominance. They were just by far the better team. Not much to say about it. And, it was nice to see Lamar get 4 touchdown passes. I think it was 4. Yeah, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 4.
So he makes a huge difference for them. So good for them. That's all I got to say about it. Total dominance. Miami sucks, but they're not going to they're obviously not going to get rid of McDaniel. If they were, they would have probably done this.
We've been saying the same about Kevin Stefanski for a while as well. It's just they're kind of locked in, at least through the season, it seems. Jim, any thoughts on the Ravens Dolphins?
Yeah, the glaring thing from a betting perspective was Tua was 3-13 straight up as a dog. He's now 2-10 straight up. The Dolphins were 2-4 against the spread at home, and they were 11-23 against the spread as a dog. Mike McDaniel, just miserable. He's now 0-5 straight up on Thursday evening. So, yeah, it was Ravens all over, and they Ravens go as Lamar goes. You know,
Yeah, Derrick Henry is he's one of the best running backs of all time. He's put together enough years now. You can put him among the top 20 somewhere. He's pretty doggone good, but without Lamar, that vehicle is not going very far without that engine.
We all know Lamar's a top 5 quarterback. You know, he needs to stay in the NFL. You know, he's not going to go into broadcasting when he retires.
Yeah.
So he needs to stay with the Ravens.
Yeah, that gravy train's going to run out. Luckily, he's being very well compensated. All right, let's talk about a surprisingly good game here. This was Bears and Bengals, a double B score, both in the 40s. I hope you picked the over on this one. The Cincinnati Joe Flacco's fell 5 points short. Mike, this was a back and forth game. So many places to take this. What did you make of this? Caleb Williams, 3 touchdowns.
Wild game. My instinct was to take the Bears and to give the 2.5 points. Turned out my instinct would have been correct, but I was afraid to bet the game because I didn't know what Flacco was going to do. Wild, crazy game. And, you know, you can complain about Caleb Williams all you want, but he did a lot of stuff in that game, made a lot of big plays, and got them the winning touchdown when they needed it. So, you know, and again, some bad clock management by the Bengals. But wild game, loads of fun to watch. Spent a lot of time watching it on Red Zone the other day. And just really exciting game. And, you know, don't look now, but the Bears are 5-3.
That's exactly what I was going to ask is 5-3 Bears. Are they fighting for a wild card here? Are they a legitimate?
Yep, they are. They could overtake the 49ers for one of those wild card spots if you don't watch it.
Playoffs?
Thank you.
How about playoffs?
Oh, I just hope we can win a game. Jim, look, 4 touchdowns out of Joe freaking Flacco, 2 interceptions, of course, but man, 42 points on the board. The Browns haven't scored 17. That was like their magic number. Now the Bengals are putting up 42. Obviously, they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Obviously, the Browns don't. We know that. But still, are you surprised Flacco's playing at this level? Are you surprised at the Bears getting to this stage of the season, hanging 47 on them? Or come on, it's the Cincinnati defense. Of course they are.
Yeah, it's kind of sad for Flacco because he's the last 3 weeks he's put up some really big numbers, you know, and he's only won one of those 3 games.
Jim, 470 yards passing and 470.
Yeah.
No overtime in this game.
Second best performance in the NFL this year. Only one guy more than 40.
And he couldn't get anything done in Cleveland. We were all the receivers were dropping passes. They were afraid to throw the ball deep for some reason. That's how Flacco led us to the playoffs 2 years ago. Yeah, it's just it's refreshing to watch. I root for him. I root for players that wear the brown and orange. If they leave our team and they didn't completely burn the building down like Johnny Manziel, I'm going to root for you. You know, once a Brown, always a Brown. Some people say, well, if you don't wear brown and orange, it doesn't matter. If you were a Buckeye, I'm always going to root for you. If you were on the Browns and you didn't burn it down, I'm going to root for you. So go Flacco.
Yeah, you mentioned the total in this game. It opened at 50.5, and it pretty much stayed there. So
doubled it.
50.5 was, I mean, that was probably garbage time in the first half of the football.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So, Mike and I stayed away from this game because the Bears were 16-34 straight up, and they were 6-24 straight up on the road. So they're not a real good road team straight up. And plus, the Bengals were, they were a 2.5 point dog in this game. They were a home dog. So this was a stay away. This was kind of a quasi corner game. So
it wasn't a corner game for me, but it scared me to bet on it. That's for sure.
Any thoughts on the Colston Loveland play to win the game? I mean, Cincinnati had this done. And they throw, I don't know how long of a route that was. Was that a 10-yarder, a 20-yarder?
No, it was 30 or 40 yards.
People trying to tackle him, and he breaks through all of them.
Well, they basically you got to tackle in this league, right? And you got to good angles, and good safeties are hard to find. And, that's why, you look at a team like the 2013 Seahawks that had Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas. They didn't just try to knock guys over. They tackled them. They tried to knock this tight end over, Loveland, who's twice as big as they are, and they bounced off of him like a rubber ball off a battleship, and he just runs for a touchdown. Amazing game. Great game.
Yeah, I like when games are competitive. I like when there's a lot of scoring. I just want to see some I want to see some interesting plays. Just keep me interested. I love games when I don't have money on it and it's competitive. It's a little back and forth like a boxing match. A couple punches landed by both sides. I loved it. I loved it. Talk about another one with some punches on both sides. JJ McCarthy comes back and takes down the Lions. The Vikings are 4-4. They're not too far removed from Sam Darnold's year. I mean, they were the best record in the league right there at the top for all of the season.
Yeah.
And despite all of their problems and injuries, they're sitting at 4-4, and they just beat the Detroit Lions in Detroit, Mike. This was a legitimate statement game, I think.
I don't agree with that. I think this is a fluky game. I think the Vikings and the Cardinals both had their fluky games of the year this last week. They were outmanned everywhere. The Lions were not very well prepared. The Vikings were very well prepared, very highly motivated, but I don't think they can sustain it, especially with JJ McCarthy. What do they have? Less than 150 yards passing. It's like, oh, look at that big play by JJ McCarthy. And you look back and he's only got like 4 or 5 plays, and they all ended up seems like touchdowns. So it was just one of those games where the Lions didn't really show up and the Vikings did. It ruined my parlay. But I'm yet to really be impressed by the Vikings.
Jim, did the Lions lose it or did the Vikings win it?
I think the Lions lost it. This, as Mike went last week, this also ruined my parlay. The Lions were going into this game. They were 42-13 straight up. They were 17 against the spread, and they were 29-10 against the spread at home, and they were 4-1 straight up at home against the Vikings. So this was screaming, go ahead and take the Lions, not necessarily laying the 8.5, but just convert it to a money line bet on the parlay. And this was a solid bet, but it's the National Football League, and you never know, especially division games. But I think probably the Vikings are probably playing over their head. Bless you, Barra.
Thank you.
So,
I mean, maybe. What about that division in general now? With the Bears being competitive, the Vikings bouncing back, the Lions and Green Bay Packers. I mean, that is the premier division in all of football. Would anyone disagree?
I think it's up in the air. Lions are going to have to play a lot better and a lot more physical. I think that was the thing about it, was the Vikings were just really physical, really hit them, and really said, we're here.
Well, the Lions are one of the major bounce back teams in the league. If they lose a game, especially a division game, they're going to come out and that Campbell just worked their ass off this week. So
yeah,
they're going to come back and beat the Redskins.
Well, let's talk about the other team in that division, the Packers. Did any of us have this on our game card? Did we predict that the Panthers were going to beat the Packers and that they'd be pretty doggone close with their records? Panthers improved to 5-4 on the year. Green Bay drops to 5-2-1, which is almost 5-3. Mike, how surprising was this that the Panthers got the 3-point win over the Packers at home?
It was pretty surprising, but as you watch the game, I mean, basically the Panthers, probably their strength, I guess, is their offensive line, and their defense is pretty good. And, when it shows up, and they had one of those games, this is their second or third game like this, where they've really played well defensively. And with this guy, what's his name? Rico Dowdle. Yeah, they just shoved the ball down the Packers' throats all day long. They controlled the clock. They controlled the ball. Jordan Love couldn't make the big plays over the top, and Packers lost. And I thought it was hilarious, to be honest with you, because it's not like Bryce Young is doing anything. He had 102 yards and an interception or something. Yeah. He didn't do anything, and they won the game. So
Dowdle has a banged up quadricep, limited participant in Thursday practice.
They're 5-4.
5-4.
Panthers are 5-4.
I mean, but look, Rico Dowdle is third in the league in rushing yards, 735. He's third in the league in rushing. So that's how you're building a team, Jim.
Yep.
They're able to maintain possession. They're able to keep the sticks going. They're getting enough to get it done, and it kind of starts and stops with the running game. What did you make of this?
Yeah, the Packers, or I'm sorry, the Panthers are one game behind the Buccaneers. I mean, they're in second place in the South.
Oh,
so, that's surprising. This was another game that killed my parlay, but my parlay was dead, after the Lion game. But this game just screamed Green Bay, and what's happened to Green Bay? It wasn't so much I was betting Green Bay because of the good things that Green Bay does, but it was a bet against the Panthers for the most part.
Right.
It was the Panthers are 3-17 straight up on the road. I mean, who wouldn't put the Packers on a parlay ticket on the money line?
Jim, this ain't your daddy's Panthers. This ain't your daddy's Panthers.
Obviously not.
Yeah, surprising. But I always love when these teams that you expect zero out of, they're competitive, they're feisty, they're in the wild card hunt. It's great for the sport. I don't like things being predetermined before the year starts, and I love seeing it.
Oh, and every year there's 2 or 3 new teams in the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that one happened, and that makes their division even tighter as the Packers lose. Jim, were you saying?
Jake Delhomme isn't walking through that door, though.
Hey, now. And Derek Anderson. We got some players that played for the Browns and the Panthers. We go back with that. All right, let's talk about the Los Angeles Football Chargers. They win 27-20 in a pretty close game here over the Tennessee Titans, who dropped to 1-8 on the year. Mike, Justin Herbert, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 250 yards. Okay, whatever. But he had 57 yards rushing on the ground and a touchdown with a long of 29. What did you take away from this game that was a little too close for comfort, maybe?
Well, yeah, 307 yards and 3 touchdowns just by Justin Herbert alone, 2 throwing and 1 rushing. He basically was the reason they won, him being better than Cam Ward. Cam Ward continues to not do much. Tennessee's just a really rotten football team. I think Joe Alt got injured again. He's going to be out for a few weeks. It looks like that's a shame. But the Chargers may be 6-3, but they're not good. They don't really do anything well. They don't do anything really well. They got a ways to go to build. I'm not impressed with them. I think they might be in the hunt for a wild card, but I don't think they're in the hunt for the division. I think Kansas City wins that fairly easily. So, I just don't have much to say about this game. The team that should have won, they weren't very impressive. The Chargers continue to not be very impressive.
And they're missing both of their top running backs, Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton.
Yeah.
And now Alt, he had another right ankle injury. He was carted off. Harbaugh didn't have an update on the condition, but says he feels bad for him. I don't know what the status of moving forward, how bad it is. But, the Chargers have pieces, but they're still 6-3. I mean, they're still in a great position. We'll see how the season plays out. But, Jim, they are kind of erratic. I don't know if could we call the Chargers erratic or injury plagued? I don't know what you would say, but they sort of got the win. Not very convincingly, though.
Oh, yeah. Alt is out for the season. I just read it. Yeah.
I thought I saw that too, but I wanted to double check.
He is out. Betting perspective, erratic is probably a good word for this team. I mean, this game opened Chargers 10.5 road favorite, which is a huge number on the road. It doesn't matter who they're playing. And it was bet down to 8.5, and then it went right back up to 9.5. So no one was going to make up their mind on whether or not the Chargers were actually going to cover the number, and of course they didn't. And the glaring number was this: the Titans were 0-11 against the spread at home in Nashville, and this was the one game where they covered the point spread. The past 12 games they've covered 1 point spread at home, and this was it. So the Chargers are very inconsistent as far as a team to bet.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, there's another inconsistent team, the Falcons. They fall to 3-5. They lose this one. I mean, they stormed back with 9 points in the fourth quarter, 1 point short to the Patriots, who improve to 7-2 on the day. Mike, your buddy Michael Penis Jr., 3 touchdowns, no mistakes, but not enough this day.
Yeah. And Penis played well.
I guess he did have a fumble, but he didn't lose it.
Yeah, but I mean, this is if the Lions game didn't screw up my parlay, this game was going to, because they didn't beat the spread. New England was up 14, I think twice during the game, and kept letting Atlanta back in it. It's kind of a lazy game, I thought, for the Patriots defensively. And Penix was effective, and Atlanta's terrible on the road, but Penix showed that they're gonna be winning on the road here soon, because he played pretty well and kept them in the game, and kept the game closer than it needed to be, kept the game closer than I wanted it to be, and ruined my parlay. But again, Drake May solid. New England's the better team. They should have won. They did, but barely.
Yeah, and by the way, Drake London, 14 targets, 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, he was spectacular. Yeah, London was
monster day. We've been waiting for that out of Drake London for 3 years now? 4 years? How long has he been in the league?
Yeah.
Once again, see if he can be consistent. Jim, a 1-point game, and New England just keeps chugging off the wins here.
Yeah, I don't think our guy Ramondre played in this game either.
That's right.
Between the three of us, and we'll just keep this on the show. We all know we've got a little insight on Ramondre, and he is still suffering from a pretty bad toe injury. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, so that will open it up for Travion Henderson, who only got 14 carries. I've watched Travion enough on the Ohio State Buckeyes to know you keep feeding the guy. He's going to bust him. He's a playmaker. He's a home run hitter. But instead, they gave 11 carries to some guy named Terrell Jennings. I feel like you should give those runs to Travion Henderson. He gets stronger the more the game goes. I don't get what the Patriots are doing. I don't understand for the life of me. You finally have your bell cow back. You have a chance to lean on someone, and they refuse to. They just this is not just Bill Belichick. We're onto this new head coach now. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But the Patriots are 7-2, and I'm not. So kudos to them, I suppose, for getting the win. All right. 49ers get back on track, winning 34-24. Christian McCaffrey comes back and gets it done. 106 yards on the ground and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns on the day by Mac Jones, Mike. Can the 49ers survive just on culture and talent and pedigree, or they're MacGyvering it? The Giants were the Giants. I don't know how much this is really a test, though.
No, the ideal outcome for me in this game would have been the Giants win, but Jackson Dart plays terrible, because I'm really rooting against him as the next great quarterback narrative that's out there.
You're rooting against him? Why are you rooting against? Now, I'll tell you why I'm rooting. Well, I'm not rooting against him, but it would be an indictment on the Cleveland Browns for letting Jackson Dart go past them.
Yes.
If they could draft Mason Graham, a tackle out of Michigan with the number 5 overall pick. I know we got an extra first rounder next year, and we got to build off the Deshaun Watson debacle of the trade. We lost 3 first-round picks. We got to rebuild it. But Jackson Dart was there for us. I'm not rooting against him. Why were you rooting against him?
Oh, just because he replaced my guy Russ, and I don't. Yeah. I mean, he gives them some mobility with his legs that Russ can no longer give you. But Russ is obviously better in the passing game. But Jackson Dart's pretty good in the passing game. He had 2 more touchdown passes, although one of them again was kind of fluky, not really a play by the quarterback as much as it was a play by the receiver. But that's just kind of my ideal thing. It'll be really interesting. They're going to play the Cowboys, I think, again this week. And, now we can do the direct head-to-head comparison, Russ versus Jackson Dart against the Cowboys. But, the 49ers cannot sustain this. They are a dead man walking. They are a zombie team. They got so many injuries and so many old players. But the whole thing just has to – they're like a piece of cigarette ash. It's a beautiful sculpture now, but you flick it and Caesar just crumbles to dust. So I'm just waiting for that to happen. Didn't happen this week, but I think it's coming.
Jim, like Santa Clara 49ers.
Yeah, this is one of Mike's best bets of the week, actually, was Santa Clara to destroy the Giants. number was 2.5. They covered that comfortably. The Giants are just miserable. Installed as a dog, they're 6-13 against the spread, and the 49ers are now 2-1 straight up against losing teams. They're now 6-3 straight up against losing football teams. So, yeah, this was one of Mike's best bets of the week. As long as
Stone
McCaffrey.
Cold Stone Crab lock of the week.
Stone Crab lock of the week.
We got to come up with some good ideas for this. We're working on getting Jim a burner account. Well, not a burner per se, but we want to get Jim a presence on Twitter X so that we can put his trends out. And then we got to come up with like Stone Crab lock of the week or something silly.
Yeah, he ain't doing
Easter Island stone figure lock of the week. I don't know.
You're not going to get me on X, Brian. I got my lawyer on speed dial if you try to do that.
All right. Well, hey, speaking of a team that has their lawyer on speed dial with Ben Rapelessberger there for long enough, look, the Schittsburg Steelers took care of business. They beat the 7-1 Indianapolis Colts 27-20. Pittsburgh improves to 5-3 on the year. Aaron Rodgers throws 1 touchdown, 203 yards. Daniel Jones, 3 interceptions on the day. And if you watched this game like I did, man, something has changed. That Pittsburgh defense. Yeah. Were you giving me a cheers, by the way? What was it? Were we all cheersing? Is that what that was?
Yeah, we're cheersing.
Sorry, I was looking at another screen. The Pittsburgh defense, Mike, they are playing angry. Now, I don't like when they play dirty because they blew out the knee of Nick Chubb, and I've seen them play dirty too often. But when you talk aggressive, they were hurting the Colts. They were just hard hits, and it showed. I don't think Daniel Jones has faced this type of pressure all season. Would I be wrong in saying that?
This was the team that couldn't stop the Jets, I think, in week 1 or week 2, and ruined my parlay because they couldn't stop the freaking Jets. And now they play this great against Indianapolis. And they really gave up a lot of yards, but Jones threw for a lot of yards, but he had the big mistakes. They suckered him into some interceptions. They obviously saw this is a time of year when smart coaches are starting to look at the film and figure out what teams are doing and how to trick the quarterback into doing something he shouldn't have been doing, right?
And Mike, the flip side of that is it's a time where you're going to get an Aaron Rodgers outperform a younger Daniel Jones. He's an upstart, a couple years in the league, whatever, but Aaron Rodgers, he's a wily veteran, a decade and a half in the league. It's the coaches figure it out, and then the best quarterbacks figure out how to best manage their offense.
This was old age and treachery, kind of overcoming youth and skill. Rodgers did not make the mistakes. Obviously, he had he just had 1 touchdown, no interceptions, no fumbles, no turnovers. And they stuffed the Colts running game. And that was the key to it, really. Jonathan Taylor only had 45 yards. As a team, they only had 55. That was the key. You take away that, you take away the play action, you put Daniel Jones under more pressure. This is the formula for how to beat the Colts. And
play action.
I've got Jim Mora up there if you want to use him. He's right there.
I'm sorry, play action.
What's that?
Let's talk about play action.
Playoffs.
Play action.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Are you kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
We'll talk about
play action.
You kidding me?
Yeah, that wrecked me in my fantasy league because Jonathan Taylor has been our go-to. He's been carrying us in the league, and he gave us a blah.
It's not going to be every game. Steelers had a great game plan. They executed it very well. They were aggressive. They took the Colts out of their rhythm, and they came away with the win. Good for them.
Jim.
This was one of the games I stayed away from, and I stayed away from this game for one reason. The Colts were statistically supposed to win this game, but the Steelers, as we talked about last week, there were 2 teams that had lost the week before that were, and relatively solid football teams to good football teams will come back and play extra hard the next week. The Steelers won the game. They covered the point spread. The Steelers lost the week before. The other team that I forgot to mention was the one that we had just talked about, the 49ers. The 49ers had lost the week before. Last week, they came back, they won, and they covered the point spread. So this happens more often than not, and that's why I didn't play this game. The Colts going into this game were 6-0 against the spread versus the AFC, and they were 6-2 against the spread this year. But the Steelers were 21-9 straight up as a home dog. And they were 9-3-2 against the spread when getting 3 or more points at home. So this game was a no bet for me. So I laid off it.
Yeah, it's a game changer when your defense can force 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers. That is insane. And I mean, they were getting punched in the mouth. The Indianapolis Colts were all day long.
To qualify what you just said, Brian, that's been the Steelers' Achilles heel all year is their defense.
Yeah, right.
And they showed up and played like the Steelers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been said about the Ravens too. It's been their defense that's been, typically, traditionally, since they stole the Browns and came into the league, that they've had a great defense. Not so much this year at all. They took care of it this week, but of course that was against the Dolphins. So we'll see next week. This is another low-scoring game, 18-15. Broncos get the win. They improved to 7-2 on the year. Houston Texans drop this one, 15-18. CJ Stroud got knocked out of this game real quick. That was a dinger. He took a ding to the skull. He got that concussion protocol, and he missed the whole game, essentially. He only had 6 passes on 10 attempts, 6 completions on 10 attempts, Mike. But Bonus did enough to get it done. Denver improves to 7-2.
Yeah, he's going to be out this week too, CJ Stroud. And that was a game really, the Texans were winning rather comfortably with Stroud in the game. Once he went out, they were finished. The Broncos weren't very good, but they were good enough to squeak out the win on the road. It's a shame for Houston because their season now is essentially over with Stroud missing another week. And, I don't have a lot to say about this game. I just think it's going to be, it's just kind of the injury to the quarterback decided the game pretty much. And that was it. And that's all I really have to say about it. So, too bad.
I would add from a fantasy perspective, RJ Harvey was a high draft pick out of UCF. He was a 2nd-round pick out to Denver, scored another touchdown in the air, targeted 5 times, 5 completions for 51 yards and a touchdown on the day for Denver. Jim.
Yeah, this was a stay away game for me as well. The Broncos were 8-24 straight up on the road. And they're 2-7 against the spread as a dog of 4 or fewer points. But conversely, Broncos are 8-1 straight up and 7-2 against the spread versus a team with a losing record. So which way are you going to go? Texans were 1-4 straight up and against the spread versus teams with a winning record. So it was kind of a wash both ways. So it was a stay away game for me as far as betting's concerned. And Mike is correct. CJ Stroud will not play this week. He's still in concussion protocol. So it's Davis Mills as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yep. Prayers up for CJ Stroud. Rooting for him to get back soon. Davis Mills, I don't know what you're going to get out of him. Can Davis Mills, Mike, give you the performance style that Geno Smith can? 4 touchdowns on the day, not enough for the Raiders to get the win. Vegas drops to 2-6. Stupid Jacksonville keeps winning. We have their 1st-round pick. I want them to be terrible. Instead, they're 5-3. What did we learn here? That this game went to overtime. This is a very entertaining game, if nothing else.
Yeah, it was. I watched quite a bit of this. And I actually, Brian, I'm gonna share my screen and I want you to put it up there.
And I need to figure out. I think there's something I can press that can allow you guys to grab the screen share. I'd rather give you guys the control. I just can't figure out how to do it.
And this is Pete Carroll's new official NFL portrait. If NFL head coaches, just make him single layout guy there. If NFL head coaches had portraits the way the presidents do, that would be Pete Carroll's portrait. What?
Not an auto pen portrait. It would be an auto.
Why did
you almost hear Tim Allen.
Yeah. Why did I give the ball to Beast? Again, Trevor Lawrence isn't very good. He threw an interception down, on a first and goal situation, goal line situation. They were good enough. They made enough plays. They had the lead. You give Geno some credit. He had one of those good Geno games where one of the games where you're like, wow, maybe he could be the guy. Maybe he could do it. But he got him down there. They scored the touchdown where they had a chance to tie it with 1 or win it with 2. Pete did what he should have done, which is go for 2. But then it was a very smart defensive set by the Jaguars. They knew that that they weren't going to be running the ball because they hadn't run the ball all day. So they knew it was going to be a pass. So they had their 4-man rush. They pushed forward a yard or so, and then everybody just stood up and put their hands up, and Geno threw the ball right into one of the guys' hands. There was no space. When you're down that close to the goal line, there's not much space to operate. You can't lift it over the defense. So that was a really smart play. They just completely took away the middle of the field in terms of passing lanes, which is where the Raiders had scored their touchdown on the previous play. They took that away. Very smart individual tactical call by the Jaguars defensive coordinator, whoever he is. And, Geno threw it right into the guy's mitt, and that was the end of the game. So 2 bad teams, one of which, the Jaguars, sucks less than.
I wish they were bad teams. They're 5-3. Mike, every loss or every win moves that first-round pick that we have further and further into obscurity. Like, we're supposed to be able to package and bundle, and they were supposed to be a top 5 team because that's where they were last year. And by the way, there's an injury now, right? Didn't our Heisman winner got injured on Jacksonville? I don't know. I'll check his situation.
Oh, yeah. Travis.
Let me look on that. Jim, what did you take away from this? This is I don't know. If you took the over, that was 59 points on the over. I think they easily got that one, right?
Yeah, let me check what the over-under was. Yeah, the over-under was only 44.5, so it wasn't a lot of points. But wasn't the field goal record was broken in this game? Was it?
Oh, that was awesome.
I believe it was a
68-yard field goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
How cool was that, guys? I love that.
Well, this brings up a debate. And Jim, I want to know what you want to think. And Brian, I think it's time to take the kicking balls away from the kickers. I think this is getting ridiculous, especially indoors. I think, they give them the balls, I think, an hour or two to prep and scuff up and everything. I think that they should fill the balls up absolutely as stiff and rigid as they can and not let anybody touch them in the game, just to increase the odds that they're going to miss. Because I think it's ridiculous.
It wasn't like he was kicking off an artificial surface either. I mean, the stadium here is natural grass, but
I think it's awesome. What did they say about the 3-minute mile? Am I thinking the number right? Is it 5-minute mile, 3-minute mile?
4-minute mile.
4 minutes.
Yeah,
whatever.
The original record was held by Tom Dempsey. Anybody over the age of 60 remembers Tom Dempsey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had the club foot. He played for the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, we had Lou the Toe Grows. Yeah, the story is like nobody could break that record, and then once it was done, then a ton of people started breaking. It was just like almost psychological. Can I kick a 68-yarder? Yeah, damn right you can. You can kick a 70-yarder.
Yeah, was it Rich Carless in Denver that
Rich Carless
broke Dempsey's record, and it goes on and on.
Justin Tucker had it for a little bit, and now Cam Little has it.
I remember that call. We should look it up, the Tom Dempsey kick, because Tom Dempsey had no toes on his kicking foot, and he was a straight-ahead kicker.
Yeah,
that's straight-ahead kick, but it gave him sort of a wedge foot. But I remember
he wore half a shoe, and the front of his shoe was actually, it was like a sledgehammer.
Yeah, and it was funny because I remember the announcer, because I was watching it live. He goes, "The Redskins now, or the Saints now, are going to try a field goal from their own 37." And it was just like, you tell me, announcer was like, "This is the stupidest thing ever," and he freaking made it. That was a great kick. It was a great moment.
Yeah, I like seeing stuff like this for the league. It's just fun to see people setting new records and knowing that you can continue innovating. I don't know if they're holding the ball. I don't mind about that.
I'm just saying, I think it's time to to create some more uncertainty in the game. And when your guys are kicking 68-yard field goals, let's take the ball prep away from them.
I'll tell you what, I've seen Myles Garrett jump the line and block them. I've seen a lot of shank it to the right and left.
They banned that too. I
They're
mean,
not automatic. No, I love that. It's awesome for the game.
but I do too. I would leave that in. Cam Chancellor was the first guy to do that, to leap over the center and block the field goal. It was an amazing play. And then another Saints guy did it, and another guy did it, and then they freaking banned it. That play should be completely legal because, wow, what a great athletic play. But I just think 68-yard field goals, again, I think if you take the balls away, if you give them a brand new ball to kick every time, no preparation, no scuffing, make them just kick it raw, it's going to increase the number of misses, and I think that would be good because it's getting.
By the way, Ian Rappaport says Travis Hunter, the Jaguars rookie wide receiver cornerback, the number 2 overall pick that the Browns traded away from that position. He had a non-contact knee injury during practice on Thursday, October 30th, ahead of Week 9. So he was placed on injured reserve, and he'll miss at least 4 games. They don't see that anything is confirmed to be torn apart or structurally unsound, but that is the latest with the Jaguars. You're missing maybe one of your best players, if not your most talented. He's the Heisman winner. You picked him number 2. He's a big playmaker on both sides of the ball. That's going to hurt them. So we'll see how that impacts the team moving forward. All right, let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams. They win 34-10 over the New Orleans Aints, the AINTS, no S, the Aints, the paper bag over their head. LA improves to 6-2 on the year. Matt Stafford just stacking up credentials, Mike, for potential MVP candidate this year. 4 touchdowns, 281 yards in the air. What did you make of this one? Obviously, the Saints aren't very good, but the Rams took care of business.
This was an easy game. We talked about it last week, all of us, how this is such a sure bet game. It went exactly the way I thought it was. I don't forget what the spread was, 13 or 14 points, but I did put them on my parlay, but I thought later, what did you do that for? I should have, the 2 teams I bet, 2 of the teams that I bet and gave the points was the Seahawks and then the Rams, but I should have put the Seahawks and the Rams together. I would have made a lot more money. That was a foolish choice on my part because this is an obvious win. Tyler Shuck's first game as a professional. And I think Jim mentioned that Sean McVay eats up rookie quarterbacks in their first start. Or their first, season. So couldn't have been more obvious. Just, 2 teams that are not completely, they're polar opposites of the spectrum. And, Tyler Shuck, you can rip on my guy Spencer Rattler all you want, but Shuck was no better. In fact, he probably wasn't as good. So we'll see how Shuck develops, but not expected to my mind at all.
Yeah, when you're 1-8, you might have the opportunity to develop a little bit.
Yeah.
Where was Shuck taken? He was taken in what round?
I believe he was a 3rd round pick by the Saints.
3rd round pick. Yeah. Okay. I would ask Jim his thoughts, but he disappeared off the screen, it seems. So we could move on to the next game. We expect Jim to. When Jim comes back, we'll ask him about Rams Saints. Meanwhile, we can talk about the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. I like seeing this. I like seeing Kansas City drop to almost 500. They're 5-4 on the year. Buffalo improves to 6-2. Did they figure it out? Did they crack the code, Buffalo, on how to beat Kansas City? Does Josh Allen know how to beat Patrick?
They always beat them in the regular season. It's the playoffs they can't seem to beat them. Playoffs. And so they always beat them in the regular season. They did again. It was a physical game. They made Mahomes uncomfortable. That's the key. And the refs did not intervene to help the Chiefs at all that I saw. So the Bills just were a little bit more muscular. Josh Allen scored 1 rushing touchdown, I think, or actually had 2 on a tush push. He didn't need a tush push. That guy's gigantic, and he just shoved it over the end line. And solid physical game. We'll see what happens when the 2 teams play in the playoffs.
Yeah. If Kansas City can even make it, they're a few games back to some other teams that are playing a little bit better.
But I just don't know who's going to beat them for the division. The Chargers, I don't believe in them at all. So we'll see.
That's fair. Well, I mean, the Broncos are they have control for now.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Play action. Talk about play action. We need to do a whole series of those.
What did happen?
Look, I love it. I love seeing Kansas City fall to earth. Plenty of games left. I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but Buffalo picking up where they left off. Will they get another chance to go to the Super Bowl? We'll see. They improved to 6-2 on the year, and I, for one, am very happy that Kansas City lost. I guess one more game of the week. The Cardinals took out the Cowboys. Too bad Izzy's not here to have to defend himself.
Yeah, I think that's why Izzy cut out on us this week, is because he didn't want to take harassment over the Cowboys performance, because they were.
But he kind of called it. He's like, they're going to have a bad game, and they always do. By the way, did you see Kyler Murray was placed on
injured reserve 4 weeks?
Yeah.
They use this BS excuse that it's about his foot and it has to fully heal, or he could re-injure it. Baloney. They found their quarterback who's good enough, Jacoby Brissett. I think that they look at him as being good enough, and I don't think that Murray's going to give them anything more than Brissett is giving them. So they're just going to put Kyler out there, and I guarantee you he's not in Arizona.
Now, remember, Izzy had that theory that when the video game came out, he was going to take an extended leave of absence, and this is exactly following the trend.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I don't remember which game it was. It Call of Duty or was it Modern Warfare? I don't remember.
Call of Duty, yeah.
Did that come out yet, or is that on its? I don't remember exactly if it came out or if it's on the way out, or either way, if he's gone for a month and it overlaps, that's going to be hilarious because Izzy called it that was going to happen. Look, Jacoby Brissett filled in Cleveland. He plays okay. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 261 yards, 21 to 31. He does enough to get it done. Marvin Harrison kind of getting his season back on track with the touchdown. Trey McBride as well. But yeah, Dak Prescott, people have been getting kind of dragged through ESPN right now because they're calling Dak Prescott trash. I don't know if he's trash, but he's not getting it done either. I don't know. I mean, there's bigger problems in Dallas than Dak, but
yeah.
He didn't give me much this game.
The thing about this game is Arizona really came to play. They played very tough. They played very physical. They were very aggressive. They were popping the ball out. Seattle, this is a trap game for the Seahawks. They dominated them in the first game, but I think that the way the Cardinals look, Seahawks better be on their toes, because they're going to come to play like they did this game. And how about Jerry Jones? You know, he got the 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons. He turned around and flipped one of them for Quinnen Williams from the Jets, who had a fire sale this week. And he's basically saying we have to improve our run defense. And I think that's going to be the formula that Jerry's going to use, because they gave up 119 yards to the Cardinals. Emery Demercado? 79 yards? Are you kidding me? So, it was just a game where Arizona had probably their best game of the year. Cowboys weren't prepared, and they got sand kicked in their face.
Yeah, 3rd season out of TCU for DeMercado, and then Bam Knight, a guy that I picked up in my deep dynasty league, 3rd season out of NC State, getting some action as well. And also catching passes out of the backfield. So look, this is a battle. These are both 3-5 teams, except Dallas also has the tie, 3-5-1. So, I mean, you could argue that the stronger team at this point is the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, we'll see how that trade helps Dallas out. Okay. That wraps up what I had for this week, Mike. Any final thoughts on last week?
Jim just texted me. Cable's gone out. He's not going to be back soon. He may not make it by the end of the show. So
okay. Well, we were doing a cheers earlier. We'll pretend to pour some out for our departed brothers. We're down 2. We're down 2 peeps.
Mm-hmm.
We will truck on. We will find a way to get through this. Mike, do you want to share the X feed for? We got to get Jim an account. I can do it. I just have to decide to do it.
You want me to call him?
If you think that would be something we could do, yeah, I guess we could.
All right.
I used to make calls through Gmail. God, I haven't done that. That's how I used to both
Well,
my guests on the Agree to Disagree show.
I'm not going to be able to call him, but I might be able to call him on the phone, but not on the internet. So,
And then you could put him on speaker, perhaps.
let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see if I can make a phone call. I used to be able to in Gmail. I don't know. I haven't done that in so long. Because that would be super cool if I could just call him up from my Gmail. I'm looking at the main menu. By the way, hit like, hit subscribe. This is Strictly Football, a division of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show here on the New American Media, because the old American media failed you. Mike, do you have anything interesting going on last week or this upcoming week?
Hang on, let me just talk to Jim here for a sec. Jim?
We got him. I think it's on mute. Yes, it's on mute. All right, so let them talk that over and see if he is going to give his projections and betting trends for this week. But hit like, hit subscribe for the show. Share it to a couple of your friends. We're on season 2, episode 10, talking football, mostly strictly football. Occasionally we talk about other stuff. Additionally, in this program, we're going to do our NFL game picker. Last week was week 9. I was 8-6 last week. Not fantastic, but above water. I improved to 84-51 on the season. And then we're going to make our picks following the betting trends. Mike is back, perhaps. Is he on mute?
I'm just waiting to see if I can get Jim on the phone to do his picks. If not, we'll just do his,
Well, what we could do is we could make our NFL game picker while we wait to see Jim. We could do it a little out of order.
Let's do that.
Do you want to do yours first? Do you want me to do mine?
Why don't you do yours while I'm waiting on Jim?
Perfect. So Las Vegas, Denver, we got to get this pick in because in about 20 minutes, this game is going to start. I'm going to go ahead and take Denver over Vegas. The 7-2 Broncos, man, Bo Nix, good for them. Atlanta, Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is going to bounce back at home super strong, taking them over the Falcons. Baltimore at Minnesota. This is a coin flip. It is in Minnesota. The Vikings did do okay. Look, they beat a tough Lions team regardless. I know Baltimore bounced back and they looked better, but I'm going to pick Minnesota Vikings here. Buffalo over Miami. I'm picking Buffalo. Cleveland over New York. This is my lock of the week. 2-6 Browns should absolutely destroy the New York Jets, which means they could lose. But I don't think there's any remote possibility of that, given that the Jets have had a fire sale, a lot of trades, clearing up the books. It's a lost season, and we get to play them. Jacksonville, Houston. I'm going to go Jacksonville because of the quarterback situation, unfortunately, but I hope I'm wrong. Oh, this is going to be a game of the week. New England at Tampa Bay. Man, am I looking forward to this. But I'm going to go with the second Tom Brady team instead of the first Tom Brady team. I'm going to pick the Buccaneers to get this win. The bye week is going to help the banged up Bucs for sure. New Orleans at Carolina. I'm going Panthers. Panthers are legit. Don't look now. New York at Chicago. Chicago's legit. I'm picking the Bears. Arizona at Seattle, like Mike said, that's a trap game. That's a tough one. You better watch out. Better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. The Cardinals are coming to town. I'm going to pick the Seattle Seahawks, however. They should take care of business. But watch out. The Jacoby Brissetts are feisty. Detroit at Washington. Detroit, that gruesome elbow injury. Prayers to Daniels over there. I hated seeing that. And, you got a lot of grief the coach did. Why was he in? Oh, that's my fault. But, he's also taking reps. It's the second. I don't know. You play the game. There's only so many snaps. I don't know. I wouldn't want to string up the coach just because if he knew that would have happened, he never would have played him. But that could happen on literally any play of the game. So
he shouldn't have been out there.
And you're right. You're right. I don't disagree with that take. However, I'm going to give a little bit of grace there. But I take your point. This is another good game. 6-2 Rams, 6-3. 49ers. I would say this is a coin flip game, but I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. Pittsburgh at Los Angeles. God, the way the Steelers played last week, I think it's going to be a lock that they're going to get this win, but I do think the Chargers are accidentally the better team here. So I'm going to go with the Bolts and Philly, Green Bay. There's some nice games this week. Philly at Green Bay. Green Bay really played like crap last week. So I'm going to go with the Eagles, Mike. those are my picks from last week. And like I said, I'm 84-51 on the season. In my week 9 last week was only 8-6. How about you?
Interesting. Can you make my screen a little bigger? Can you make
Absolutely. Let me switch to your screen. Put Mike Barrett and Jigba up on the screen. I'm going to take mine off, and I will make yours the largest. There we go.
That looks better.
Yes.
All right, I think we'll skip going through Jim's data for this week. He's just not able to provide commentary on it, but it is posted on Mike Barrett 333 on Twitter. And Brian, you can obviously repost it. I tagged TNAM football, strictly football, so we'll go with that. Last week I was 9-5. I'm 90-45 for the season. I think I still have an edge, although it's close this week. So let's move on to week 10. God, is it week 10 already?
Oh my God.
At
least you're in playoff contention. I'm just sitting in purgatory of another Brown season, you know?
Yeah. Well, Raiders at Denver kicks off in just about 25 minutes. So we got to wrap the show up here. I'd like to say the Raiders are going to fight, but they're not going to fight. The Broncos are the better team. They're at home. There's the altitude, and the Raiders traded away one of their receivers who's well liked in the locker room. I think that's a sign to the team. And there was big, heavy talk. I mean, I think I heard Max Crosby almost became a Seahawk this last Tuesday. Maybe if they'd had one more day, they could have worked out a deal. That's discouraging to players. I don't think they're going to play very hard or very tough. I think this game might even get Pete Carroll fired if it gets out of hand. So I'm going to take the Broncos tonight. I actually bet this game. I bet on the money line, or not the money line. I bet the spread. I gave the 8.5. I really think the Broncos are going to win. But I got to be honest, I don't like any other games really hardly at all this week. I do kind of like this one. I like the Colts bounce back game at home against the Falcons, who aren't very good on the road. I doubt the Falcons play as well as they played last week. Colts have revenge in mind. I think the Colts win this game. I might bet that one. Baltimore, Minnesota, don't want to touch it, but I think with Lamar back, the Ravens are kind of on a roll here. It was a good tune-up game last week against the Dolphins. I think they come in and knock the Vikings off. The Bills and the Dolphins, nothing to see here. Bills are going to win that one. It may be closer than people think, but Bills are going to win that one. Browns, Jets. Again, the Jets had the fire sale. The Browns have 2 wins compared to 1. They're the better team. Not by that much, but they're better. So I think the Browns are going to win this game in New York. Jacksonville at Houston. I would favor Texans if CJ Stroud was playing. He's not. I think the Jags are going to squeak it out and go to 6-3 over Houston. Tampa and New England. New England almost lost last week. I think they do lose this week. I think that they go to 7-3 and Tampa goes to 7-4. Wow, the crummy game of the week, New Orleans and Carolina. I'd like to pick New Orleans, but Rattler's not playing. Carolina's at home. I think they win that one. Again, I don't know what the spread is, but I'm not betting it. New York at Chicago. I was wrong. They're not playing the Cowboys this week. I've got to like Caleb Williams and the Bears at home. They just have a lot more bullets in the gun than the Giants do without Cam Scatterbo now. I don't expect the Giants.
And Malik Neighbors.
And Malik Neighbors. I think they'll put up a fight, but I don't expect the Giants to win. Arizona, Seattle. I think there's a real danger here for the Seahawks to blow this game, but I do think with Rashawn Sheehy, the new receiver, is that his name?
Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed. I think they're going to get him involved a little bit. He's going to make a difference. I think the team's going to play well enough to beat the Cardinals at home. But I don't know. I'm not giving the points. I think they're 6.5 point favorites. I'm not giving the points. I don't think. Let me see what the.
And by the way, Mike, just while you look that up,
6.5.
I love Shaheed for your team. I mean, Justin Jefferson used to do it for Sam Darnold last year, giving another weapon to free up a little bit of JSN, who is having an MVP type season.
There's Jim. Okay, we'll go through Jim's stuff when I get done with my picks, I guess. Detroit and Washington again. Redskins without Jaden Daniels, they're down. I think the Lions are going to be mad. They're going to go in and win. Rams, 49ers. I like the Rams here. The 49ers won the first matchup. I think the Rams come back and beat them. The 49ers are dead men walking. It's just a question of time. Steelers Chargers, Steelers, Chargers, Steelers, Chargers. Neither team is very good. Neither team is really that good. Do you go with the Steelers? Actually, I think I'm going to go with the Steelers because I just think the Chargers are soft, and I don't think they're going to win this game. So I'm going to do that. And then Packers, Eagles. Packers, Eagles. Look, Eagles are a little hotter. Packers don't look so good the last couple of weeks. 2 out of the last 3 weeks. I like the Eagles at Green Bay. Wow, 2 losses in a row at Lambeau. That would be something else. So that's my pick.
That's true. All right, Mr. Jim Mitchell, caveman style. Welcome back. He's in the cave, man.
We lost all power, but we're back up.
Welcome back. All right, so let's start off with last week. How did you fare in week 9? Right above Atlanta. Click on that.
It was week 9. I was I believe I was 9-5. Yes, I was 9-5.
Solid.
So I missed. How were you last week, Mike?
Oh, I was last week. I was 9-5, I believe. Yeah,
and I was 8, and I was 8-6.
You know, if I keep going 9-5, you guys are going to have a hard time catching up to me. I'm 90-45 on the season now. So.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm 84-51.
Yeah.
So I'm about 6 games back.
Yeah.
Well, that
we got to get Jim ranked in here. He's not in our leaderboard.
I'm in second place. I'm 86-49 on the season.
Well, how do we get you? We got to add him to the leaderboard somehow. We only have the 3 of us.
You know what? I got to go over to Jim's house and get on his computer and.
I'm just so far behind. I mean, we don't have 9 weeks logged in on the leaderboard. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, we know that's fine. But we want to get it set up the right way moving forward, if possible. Okay. So these are your picks for this week. Walk us through what you got.
Okay, I got Denver winning the game tonight against the Raiders. The Raiders are I believe 4-0 in Denver, but that statistic coming up that if they played overtime on Thursday, that's a miserable statistic. So they're not going to win the game. I got the Colts. This is the Kraut Bowl. They're going to be playing in Berlin. So I got the Colts bouncing back. This is one of the bounce backs. They lost last week. They will bounce back and destroy the Falcons. I'm comfortable with laying the 6.5 in this game. I've got the Ravens beating the Vikings. I will take Buffalo. Buffalo is just super dominant in Miami, and we'll go over that later. I'll take Buffalo to win this game. I've got your Browns, Brian, beating the fire sale Jets.
Thank you.
The Jaguars. The Texans are playing Davis Mills division game. I'll go ahead and take the Jaguars in this game. I'll take the Baker Mayfields to go ahead and win the game narrowly against the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson is again, he isn't supposed to be playing this week. We'll take the Panthers. They're on a roll. They will beat the Saints. Another division game. I will take the Bears at home to beat the Giants. This is probably going to be my stone cold pick of the week. The Seahawks will destroy the Cardinals. Call of Duty is not supposed to be playing this week. We will go ahead and go with Detroit to beat the Redskins. This is another team that will, losing a week before. Even though the Lions are 5-3, they're going to bounce back and destroy the Redskins. We will go with the 49ers to beat the Rams. I'm telling you, Shanahan's got McVay's number. I will go ahead and take the Steelers to beat San Diego. As Mike mentioned before, Joe Alt's out, so Justin Herbert is going to be running for his life. We will go with Green Bay at home. Supposed to be pretty cold Monday night in Green Bay, and I will take them to beat the Eagles.
All right.
Cool.
And those are your personal picks. Now, we want to go through your betting trends. Yeah, we could pull that up on the screen. Mike, do you have that
Got it. Yep.
cued? Look at that. That's like Malone to Stockton. What a nice assist. Perfectly timed.
There we go.
All right, Mr. Jim.
So, Jim, tell me that I bet the right game, because you weren't here when I said I went and I bet the Broncos tonight, and I gave the 8.5 for $50. So, looking at some of your stats, I'm not so sure that was a good idea. But
well, I love this game, but I ran out of time to bet it. I would have taken the Broncos on the money line on this game and parlayed them. The Raiders are 10-9 against the spread versus the AFC West in their own division. The Raiders are 4-1 straight up versus the Broncos in Denver the last 5 games. This is the most important statistic of this game here. Teams that play overtime on Sunday, then play on Thursday, are 3-24 against the spread. So if this statistic holds up, Mike, you're gold as far as covering your 8.5. This game opened at 9.5, and it was bought down to 8.5 this afternoon with Boyd Sports. Broncos are 4-5 against the spread in 2025. They are 21-27 against the spread. Broncos are 11-3 against the spread when installed as a favorite, but they are 9-0 straight up at home. Bo Nix is 8-2 against the spread as a home favorite. The Broncos are 9-1 straight up and 8-2 against the spread versus a team with a losing record. Favorites of 4 or more are 46-17-1 straight up.
Yeah. You know, Jim, there's one other thing here that factored into me betting this game on the and given the points is the fact that it's a short week. The Raiders played overtime and they're at altitude, so I expect the Raiders to kind of cave in the fourth quarter tonight. I really do. Even if it's a game, I think they'll fall apart in the fourth quarter.
I read a stat this afternoon also, which is interesting. The Broncos have been scoring in the fourth quarter 46% of their points in every game.
Well, that one game, how many did they have? 24 in the fourth? That was
33 points to beat the Giants in the fourth.
33 it was.
Yeah, in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they're not covering the spread in the third quarter, you know, it's not time to fall on the sword. You know, just wait it out. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
The next game, this is the Kraut Bowl. It's going to be in Berlin. The Falcons at the Colts. The Colts opened as a 6.5-point favorite. They are still 6.5. The weather in Berlin at this time is supposed to be 46 degrees and cloudy. So it's going to be
you said 46?
46 degrees in Berlin on Sunday.
All right.
Falcons are 8-21 straight up on the road. They are 7-15 against the spread as a dog. The Colts are 6-3 against the spread. And favorites of 4 or more points are 46-17-1 straight up. This is one of my favorite picks of the week. I feel comfortably betting the Colts. The Colts are on my bounce back list for this week. My bounce list include the Colts, the Packers, and the Lions. These three teams lost last week. They're all three solid football teams, and solid football teams tend to not only bounce back and win the game, but also cover a point spread. So I would be confident laying the 6.5. I don't usually like betting a number over 3, but the Falcons. Next game, another division game, Saints at Panthers. The Panthers are a 5.5-point favorite. Boyd Sports had them open Monday at 5.5. They're still 5.5. This line has not moved. Game time 74 degrees and partly cloudy. Saints are 1-7 against the spread as a dog. They are 2-3 straight up versus the Panthers in Charlotte. And again, favorites of 4 or more points are 46-17-1 straight up. I thought about playing this game. I am not going to play this game, nor will I put the Panthers on a money line.
I think I like the Panthers on the money line. Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, if you have to bet it, go ahead and bet the money line. But 5.5 is a lot of points for this type of division game, the NFC South. Giants at the Bears. Game time is 43 degrees, and it's supposed to snow on Sunday in Chicago.
I love snow games.
Right. The Bears opened at 3.5. It's been bet up to 4.5. So there's Chicago money coming in on this game. Mm-hmm. The Giants are 21-16 against the spread as a road dog. They are 6-14 against the spread as a dog. This is a Santa Clara stat as far as a team that played Santa Clara the week before. They are 19-35 straight up the week after. The Bears are 17-34 straight up. So not a real attractive game to bet. If this game will go as Caleb Williams goes. So next game, Jaguars at Texans, another division game. The Texans opened at 1.5. It is still 1.5. Check that. This point spread has moved. The Jaguars are now favored by 1.5.
They flipped by 3.
This point spread moved by 3.
Yeah. Well, I think once they knew C.J. Stroud was out, that's when it flipped, right?
Well, we knew C.J. Stroud was out in the middle of the last game that he played when he dislocated that elbow. He was not going to play. So this game opened at 1.5 Texans. It's now 1.5 Jaguars. The Texans are 8-5 straight up at home. The Texans are 1-5 straight up and against the spread versus teams with winning records. The Texans are 8-3 straight up versus the Jaguars, and they are 2-2 straight up at home versus the Jaguars. This is going to be a stay away game for me just based on that injury. This is one of these games where you don't need that game. There are enough other games to bet. Next game, I like a lot on the money line. The Bills are a 9.5-point favorite in this game. This game opened at 9.5. It's still 9.5. 84 degrees and thunderstorms in Miami on Sunday.
Wow.
Bills are 16-12 against the spread. They are 14-2 straight up against the Dolphins. They are 3-1 straight up versus the Dolphins in Miami. The Bills are 5-4-1 against the spread versus the Dolphins. Favorites of 4 or more points are 46-17-1 straight up. Double-digit favorites are 14-11 against the spread, but they are 24-3 straight up. Tua is 3-14 straight up as a dog. He is 2-10 straight up. Dolphins are 2-5 against the spread at home, and they are 1-17 straight up versus teams with winning records. So this game screams Bills money line.
Yep. I was just gonna say that because you like to put it. Okay, flip it over to Ravens Vikings.
Ravens Vikings. Ravens are a 4.5 point road favorite. This opened at 4.5. It is still 4.5. The over/under has gone up in this game. It opened at 47.5. It was bet up to 48.5. So this is look at this as going to be a relatively high-scoring game. Ravens are 3-5 against the spread in 2025. That number is kind of skewed. We didn't have Lamar for a lot of those games.
Yeah.
Jackson is 26-11 straight up, and he is 24-3 straight up versus the NFC. That's a big number.
Yeah.
Favorites of 4 points or more are 46-17-1 straight up. The Vikings are 4-2 against the spread as a dog. Teams that played the Lions prior are 8-13 straight up, and they are only 6-15 against the spread the week after.
So I don't know, Jim. I kind of like the way that lines up. I kind of like Ravens on the money line on that one.
Yeah, usually when Vegas puts the number at 4 or 4.5, they're telling you that this team is going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not the half point, the 1.5 kind of scares me. I would love 3. If it were 3 in this game, I'd pull the trigger on Baltimore.
Yeah.
But if you have to bet the game, I'd probably parlay them on a money line. Brian's Browns against the Fire Sale Jets. 59 degrees in New Jersey and rain on Sunday. Browns.
Quinshon Judkins time.
Browns are now a 2.5 point favorite. They are still 2.5 at Boyd Sports. Browns are 19-33 against the spread after losing a game. They are 0-4 straight up on the road. Jets are 6-17 against the spread when the spread is between +3 and -3. So this is a no bet for me.
Yeah, don't bet this. Don't bet this sucker.
This is the consummate corner football game.
Yeah.
I will stay away from it.
Sorry, Brian, but it is.
Look, we have a new offensive coordinator. Watch us turn it on. We're going to win every game from here. You just watch. We'll see.
Watch us turn it on. Brian's suiting up this week, Mike.
Man, I would. I would love to play opposite Myles Garrett. That would be incredible.
Patriots at the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are a 2.5 point favorite. They opened at 2.5. They're still 2.5. 83 degrees and rain in Tampa forecasted for Sunday. Patriots are 6-0 straight up, 5-1 against the spread. Mike Vrabel is 27-14-1 against the spread as a dog of 3 points or more. And I got big question marks behind that. So if this game moves up a 0.5 point, then that play will be looked at in this game. Buccaneers are 14-4 straight up as a home favorite. That's a big number. So I think this is I'll watch this game, but I won't be betting this game. Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks are a 6.5 point favorite. They opened at 6.5. They are still 6.5. This is a division game. Cast in Seattle is 62 degrees and cloudy. The Cardinals are 25-9 against the spread on the road. They are 8-22 straight up versus the NFC West. And they are 2-16 straight up versus the NFC West in November, December, and January during the regular season. So that's a huge number. That's an 8-1 advantage in favor of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
As far as winning the game, not necessarily the point spread. And these last two Cardinal statistics, just to let you know, these games more applied to Kyler Murray starting the game, but still it was the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And we got Jacoby Brisket. He'll be at the barbecue in the parking lot next to the Seahawks stadium.
Then brisket sounds good any time of day.
Yeah.
Seahawks are 4-9 against the spread at home, but
Not good.
Not good, but they are 8-0 straight up versus the Cardinals. And they are 3-0 straight up at home versus the Cardinals. Favorites of 4 points or more are 46-17-1 straight up. I like this game. I'm not crazy about the 6.5, but I think the Seahawks win and cover in this game.
Well,
Mike, what do you think?
Well, if I lose tonight, I'm taking the Seahawks on the money line as part of maybe a 3-team parlay because I do think they're going to win the game, but I don't like 6.5. I don't like 6.5. So
no, it's a big division number, but I think they've pretty much packed it in for Kyler this year. I said at the beginning of the season, Kyler Murray's not going to be with the Cardinals next year.
Yeah.
Next game, Rams, another division game, NFC West. Rams are a 4.5-point favorite. This game opened at 3.5. It was bet up to 4.5. So there is Los Angeles money coming in on this game. 78 degrees and partly cloudy, 52 miles south of San Francisco, where the game will be played. Rams are 14-5 against the spread. They are 4-10 straight up versus the 49ers. The Rams are only 2-2 straight up versus the 49ers in Santa Clara. If I were to bet this game, I would go ahead and take the 49ers, and I would take the 4.5 points. Even though the Rams are a really good football team, but it's a division game, and the Shanahans know how to play Los Angeles.
Yeah, I really think, the Rams, but you just can't go against that Shanahan-McVay thing,
That's a fact. I agree with that. Lions, this is the late Sunday afternoon game. Kickoff in this game is going to be 1:25 Pacific time. So this is a possible hedge game. If you're going to do a parlay, you just have to be standing in the sports book and getting ready to bet the other side of this game. I like this game on the money line. The Lions are an 8.5-point favorite in this game. It opened at 8.5. It's still 8.5. The Redskins will be without Jaden Daniels in this game. 67 degrees and rain in Washington, D.C. Game time. Lions are 42-14 straight up. Again, this is a bounce back game for the Lions, so I really expect them to win the game outright. The Lions are 17-9 against the spread. Jared Goff is 21-6 against the spread on the road. The Lions are 13-0 straight up after a loss. 13-0, boys.
Wow.
The Lions are 12-0 against the spread after a loss. 8.5 is a big number to cover against the spread.
Yeah.
12-0 against the spread, that might be worth looking at.
But who are the Redskins without Daniels, though? I don't know.
And the other thing too is, you know, the Lions offense is, I got to say, is better than the Seahawks offense. And look what the Seahawks did to them. But does that mean the Redskins get a, you know, play to their pride this week and really improve? I just don't know. But 8.5, man, that's a lot.
Who's their backup, Brian? Do we know?
Mariota?
Marcus Mariota.
Mariota, you're correct. Favorites of 4 or more points are 46-17-1 straight up, and the Redskins are 16-13 against the spread. Kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
The Sunday night football game, possible hedge game. Steelers at the Chargers. Chargers opened at 3. As of this afternoon, this game went to 2.5. So there is Steeler money coming in on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Steelers fans have money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently
they do, and they've got money to travel. There's probably going to be more Pittsburgh fans in the stands than San Diego fans. Steelers are 17-9 straight up on Sunday night football. Chargers are 13-5 against the spread versus the AFC conference, but they are 4-8 straight up versus teams with winning records. And the last I checked, the Steelers still have a winning record. The last game, the Monday Night Football game, I don't have a lot of information on. I know that the Eagles and the Packers the last couple of years have been playing, even though they're not in the same division. They've been scheduled together pretty much the past 3 years. The Eagles hold a 2-1 favorite over the Packers as far as winning the games. The Eagles are 19-10 against the spread the last 29 games. So almost a 2-1 favorite. And that is all the stats I have, boys.
All right. So what are you guys betting on this week? What's the final determination? Mike, was he able to convince you of anything? I know before he jumped back in, you were saying, well, I'm going to kind of keep it light. I'm not going to get involved in much. Did he convince you otherwise?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, if I win tonight, which is, 8.5 is a big spread, but if I win tonight, then I probably won't bet any other games. But if I do choose to bet some more games, I'm liking Colts and the Panthers on the money line, and the Bills on the money line. That might be a 3-team parlay. I don't feel that confident about the Seahawks game, even just on the money line. I think it's going to be a tough game, and I don't want to touch anything else except the Lions game. So we'll see. Here's the thing: I'd like to bet the Panthers because I think they're going to win, but it's the Panthers. Can you really?
They're 5-4 Panthers. They're 5-4.
I don't know that I should do that. So I don't know. I don't like a lot of those games. I hope I win tonight. My week's over, and I roll into next week. That's kind of what I hope.
I initially listed 6 teams that were a possibility to parlay. I don't like any of these games to bet just a straight bet. And I'm assuming you ran down and made a straight bet on.
I did not. Yeah, I gave the points and took the Broncos because I just think the Raiders are gonna kind of.
So you just got you got a 1-team game at 11-10 odds, right? You just bet one game, right? Yep. But the games that I liked, and as far as making a parlay, a lot of these would be on the money line. I like the Colts. I like the Panthers. The Panthers were the second team that I had written down, and I went ahead and wrote down the -5.5. So I think they're going to cover the point spread, the 5.5. I love the Bills on the money line. That's my best money line bet. I liked Baltimore on the money line. I love Seattle on the money line, and my hedge game of the week would be the Lions on the money line, because if you win all the rest of your parlay games, you come back over the top and you lay a very minimal amount on the money line on the Redskins. So
Yeah.
in other words, if you got $100 bet, you could lay on the money line on the Redskins. You could come back over the top and probably lay $17 to win your 100 back.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal.
I don't know. I do think the Panthers are going to win that game, but I just can't see putting money on the Panthers for anything, trusting them to do anything. I just don't see it. So,
Right.
All right, boys, let's go watch some football.
Let's watch football. Bonus question before we go. Tom Brady cloned his former dog that died 2 years ago. Any thoughts?
It's not the same dog.
Okay, so it's
The
not the same dog?
The spirit is not the same. I talk to spiritualists and psychics all the time, and I would love to have that for my little girl Aurora or Indy or my other kitties, but it's not the same animal. So why do that?
Yeah, and they don't have the shared experience. I mean, does it bring back the shared experiences? Jim, any thoughts on this weird story?
No thoughts on this. No. Yeah, I saw this story that this afternoon or this morning when I got up, and it's kind of weird.
It also shows what a weirdo Tom Brady is. Let's face it, he's a weirdo.
Well,
He's not as weird as Phillip Rivers, but he's a weirdo.
yeah.
When you get Brady money, you get to go on Brady side quests, I suppose.
Just
All right.
Just remember one thing, Brian.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to leave you with this.
Mm-hmm.
Evil seeks to maintain power by suppressing the truth or by misleading the innocent. Does that sound familiar, Mike?
It does. Sounds like something I would have said. But
Leonard McCoy.
Leonard McCoy.
Ah. All right.
All right, Dr. Leonard McCoy, the conscience of Star Trek. There we
Well,
go.
may we live long and prosper.
Yes. And
All
go
of our teams this week.
Yeah.
And
Damn
go
it.
enjoy some football tonight, Thursday night. Enjoy the game. We'll be back on Strictly Football, hopefully with Ezrael Robinson next week. I appreciate you. I love you, and we will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Go Broncos. Go Broncos.
Go Browns. Undefeated starts now.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
The New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, Strictly Football.